Hello, people, and welcome to episode number 3 of Unique or Pathetic. And this time we have a very special build. We have Trinity, Mirage, Deadeye, Triple Heralds, Slivertongue, Cadiros, Deadeye again. Listen, I don't know what to call the build, okay? But we have it, and the main idea behind the build was to see how Cadiro works together with Slivertongue. And TLDR, I still don't know how, but we will test the build again at the end of the video, like we always do. So without further ado, let's get into the build, and let me start with the stats. As you can see, we've got a bunch of attributes here, mostly because of Astra Mentis. We are sitting at a almost 2k life, which is great. Energy shield pretty low, mana pretty high, 220 spirit, 71% evasion, which is pretty comfortable. We are capped on resistances, which is great again. Pretty high chaos resistance as well. We've got a lot of deflection. All of the deflection comes from only one piece of gear, which is the boots. 58% movement speed, which is much higher than many other builds that I've done in the past. Our critical hit chance is almost 44%, and critical damage bonus 403%, which is pretty good. And our rarity is pretty low, 56%. So those are the stats. Now let's get into the gear. Let's start with the bow. As you can see, I am running Slivertongue. The idea behind this build was to get as many arrows as possible, because the more arrows we have, the more arrows will get the effect from Cadiros, which is great. So that's why I really wanted that additional arrow corruption on my Slivertongue. And since there were no Slivertongues with additional arrow corruptions on the market at the time of this recording, I had to corrupt this myself, and that took me 82 exceptional bases Slivertongues to get this one. So that means that I have a bunch of them for sale right now. For the upgrades, you would of course want to double corrupt it, but I was really not feeling like trying it, because if I fail, that means that I will have to corrupt another, hopefully not 80 Slivertongues. So I left it like this. There were not many good candidates for the bow. There are not many great unique bows in the game right now. The only other good candidate, in my opinion, was Voltaxic Rift. I have corrupted this myself as well. Not a great corruption by any means, but maybe I will use this bow in a future video or something. I don't know. Now for the quiver, we are, like I said, running Cadiros with a pretty good corruption. There are not many other good candidates for the quiver. Cadiro is probably the strongest unique quiver in the game right now. I think I paid around 200 divines for this quiver, which wasn't that much. And I wish that attack speed was a bit higher, but it is what it is. For the chest, we are of course going with Iris because of the high evasion rating and because of the 20% extra cold damage. I got this chest a long time ago. I am pretty happy with it, but I do not remember how much I paid for it. I think it was pretty cheap at the time, but I imagine it would cost a lot more right now. For the upgrades, you would want the same chest, but with 4 sockets instead of 3. But I haven't seen any like that on the market right now. And other candidates would be, of course, Atsiri's Splendor with high evasion rating. Mine isn't that high. There are some that got over 2000 evasion rating out there, and they do not cost that much because people prefer the one with high energy shield usually. For the gloves, we are of course going with the Painter's Servant because they help us with Trinity and they help us with the Heralds. In addition, they give us 28% total extra elemental damage, 3 sockets and fire penetration, which is great. The downside is that they do not give us a lot of defenses, but it is what it is. I do not remember, well, actually, I corrupted those myself, so I do not know how much they would cost, but I imagine between 300 and 400 divines, something like that. And for the upgrades, you would want 30% total elemental, extra elemental damage instead of 28, of course. Now for the boots, we are of course going with the Atsiri step because it gives us 30% movement speed and high deflection rating, which is great for our build. I corrupted those myself, so I do not know how much they would cost like this. I imagine probably over 1000, maybe 1500 divines, something like that. Because an uncorrupted 2 sockets exceptional Atsiri step costs like 350 divines. So it was pretty expensive to get those. I bought like 10 uncorrupted pairs, and this is the best I got. I wish I got something else, maybe movement speed instead of that reduced slow in potency. But I'm not complaining. It is what it is. I'm pretty happy with them. So yeah, I am putting them to use. Now for the helmet, we are of course going with the Vertex, like in most of our other builds, just because of how OP it is. This is probably best in slot right now. The one that I have probably costs around 2 or 3 mirrors. But you do not need it. The most important part is for it to have 4 to all skills. Now for the ring, we are going again with the Venter's Gamble just because of how much it gives us. It gives us a lot of elemental resistances. It gives us some rarity, it gives us 15 spirit, and it gives us some life and some critical damage bonus, which is great. I do not know how much this would cost right now, considering how late we are into the league. I would imagine it would probably cost over 500 divines, at least. I don't know. Now for the amulet, we are going with the Astramentis, like I said, because I really like the corruption and the anoint. Deep trance gives us attack speed and efficiency, and it gives us a lot of attributes, which is great. And lastly, we are using the same headhunter and charms like we are using in and flasks like we are using in most of our other builds, so nothing new there. So that's it for the gear. Now let's get into the skills. One thing you'll notice right away is how low our damage is. We have only 7k damage for our lightning arrow, which is crazy low. The damage would be so much higher if we decided to use a rare bow, for example. Look at this, 46k. But the point of the video is to make it work with uniques only, so that's what I'm doing. Now I'm gonna show you the gems that I'm using in all the skills. I decided to go with Ice Shot for my Mirage Deadeye for no reason actually. I could have used Lightning Arrow as well, but yeah. We are using cooldown recovery and prolonged duration for less cooldown and more duration, of course, and those two for extra damage. You do not need to go with Ricochet and Multi-Shot here. You can go with something that gives you more damage. But I chose them because, well, first of all, I chose them because they sound fun. But I also chose them because of the idea of the video. So the idea was to see how Slivertongue works together with Cadiros, like I said. Basically, we are shooting 6 projectiles right now, and all of those 6 projectiles fork. And they also pierce, and they also get one of those extra effects which can make them chain 6 additional times, or split again, or come back to you, or God knows what, right? So I wanted this to look like a fucking Star Wars fight, you know. I wanted lasers and the arrows everywhere, like right? I want the monsters to be like, where is it coming from, right? That's what I want. Am I gonna get it? I don't know. Stay tuned. But yeah. I know it looks weak, but we will see. Maybe it works. Maybe it works. Now for the rest of the gems, we are going with Garukan's Resolve because we have a lot of critical hit chance, and with Rakiada's Flow. All of my skills are double corrupted, of course. We are only using Rigwald's Ferocity on set number 2. My Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder are at level 18, both of them, just because I'm planning to use them in a future video. We are doing the Herald of Ice tech, which makes it so we are breaking a lot of armor with those 3 gems in combination. This gem needs us to have a little bit of chaos damage in order for it to work, but we're getting chaos damage from our Heart of the Well and from our Against the Darkness, so that's good. Herald of Ash. You can take out those 2 if you prefer. They don't do much, honestly. Wind Dancer. Ghost Dance. And lastly, Trinity. Our Trinity is at level 30, which is awesome. It gives us a bunch of damage. And yeah, that's about it for the skills. Now let's get into the skill tree. Now for the Ascendancy, I chose specifically to go with the Deadeye because of the Endless Munitions, which gives us 1 extra projectile, and like I said, I wanted as many projectiles as I could get. But we are also getting some more damage from point blank, and we are getting some more defenses from Gathering Wings, which gives us Tailwind. And we are going Mirage Deadeye just because it gives us a little bit more damage, and frankly speaking, nothing else was relevant for our build. Now this is how the skills tree looks like, in case you want to copy it. We are basically getting as much critical hit chance and critical damage bonus as we can get, and of course some defenses and some movement speed and some jewel slots. Like I said, I am using this Heart of the Well because I really wanted that extra chaos damage. You could use one with mana on kill instead of that critical hit chance, like this one, for example. Now we have a Sapphire here with very good stats. We have an Against the Darkness here with extra spirit and extra chaos damage again because I wanted that chaos damage. Another Sapphire here. And lastly, we have an Emerald here. So that's it for the skills tree. Now it's finally time to test the build. This is the map that I'm using, and those are the tablets. So wish me good luck. This is not bad. Hey, yo. And I like how fast we are. I've been playing a lot of casters lately, so coming back to a ranger, I can say that I love how fast we are right now. Now I am not very confident in my single target damage. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, this is gonna be a long fight. Psych. Get him, clone. Oh no. What's killing me? I hate this boss. They really need to do something about it. Get him, Twinny. Ooh. God damn. I'm dying. Man down. Man down. Man down. So that was it, guys. Pretty quick this time. So final thoughts. I really enjoyed mapping on this character, even if it was brief. I thought mapping was smooth. It was fast. But bossing was a disaster. So there's that. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next episode. Kisses. Mwah.